Manca. Arrivederci.
Ok.
Bravo, sai che non me lo ricordo. Prosecco. No, non ce l'ho. Crema.
I'm Wendy Holloway, and you're listening to the Flavor of Italy podcast, sharing the very best of Italian food and wine, lifestyle, and people. This is Wendy Holloway with the Flavor of Italy podcast. Can you believe it? The holidays are right around the corner. It's amazing that we're already in December, and now here in Rome, it's just starting to feel a little bit wintry and give the sense of the holiday season. The traditional thing is to decorate your tree on December 8th. I have already done it. Hey, why not have a beautiful tree up nice and early? Today, I want to talk to you about Bologna. And Bologna is a fabulous town in the Emilia-Romagna region. I get lots of requests to do culinary walking tours up in Bologna, and it's a pretty quick train ride right up from Rome, our central train station here, into Bologna. And then the town is small enough and manageable where you can just walk around and see everything. I want to thank Tina's Table, Tina Prestia, who was the one who initially took me all around Bologna and showed me the very best of what there is. So a special shout out to Tina. So I've just recently had another request to go up there, and someone also asked me what goes on in Bologna at Christmas time. It just so happens there are a few little Christmas fairs, so we'll talk about that. Let's just talk about Bologna in general, because there are some spectacular things you need to know about this city. Bologna is a city of porticos, Europe's oldest university, amazing towers, and culinary delights you can't even imagine. If you're hankering for something different and unique to do while you're visiting Rome, then this is the day trip you'll want to make. Are you interested in a culinary walking tour or just a generic walking tour of Bologna? Well, I've got you covered, so just reach out to me at wendy@flavorofitaly.com. Bologna is a city you can easily visit in a day, and the great thing is that you pick up a train right in the center of Rome and you arrive in the dead center of Bologna. The train trip to Bologna from Rome it's about 2 hours, and a round-trip ticket costs around 60 euros. Totally affordable. You're best off getting an early morning train around 8:30 a.m. or even earlier and returning to Rome on this 6:30 p.m. train. And that just gives you the whole day to do everything amazing that Bologna has to offer. Even on a cloudy day, which is the day we're having right now, the Centro Storico of Bologna is gorgeous. And everywhere you turn, you see something exquisite, from the two towers and the Piazza Porta Ravignana to all of the delicious gourmet shops amidst fabulous architecture. If you haven't visited this city, jump on board and definitely make sure you get it on your bucket list. Bologna is a well-known culinary haven, and you won't want to miss out on its best. There are tons of great eateries everywhere and markets where you'll find homemade tortellini and tortelloni, which is what this city is truly famous for. And if you're lucky, you'll run across a shop where you can watch these delicacies being made. Everyone has heard of Bolognese sauce, and it's here that this delicious recipe initiated. Bologna is the capital city of the Emilia-Romagna region, and it's just a 20-minute regional train south of Modena, which is famous for its IGP and DOP balsamic vinegar. While Modena boasts IGP and DOP balsamic vinegar, Bologna also has its special IGP and DOP products that you don't want to miss, like mortadella. I mentioned the porticos before. Let's talk about them. The city it's filled with porticos. So even if you end up in the city on a rainy day, you almost don't need an umbrella because there are so many porticos. It's probably the most beautiful thing about Bologna, this extensive network of porticos throughout the city. They're all lovely, and some of them are exquisitely frescoed. No other city in the world, by the way, has as many arcades, porticos, as Bologna. They total over 38 kilometers long if you count only those in the center of town. And then if you include the porticos outside of the city center, the city walls, they're 53 kilometers. Take a look at them all when you visit the city, and especially the ones on Via Farini. My favorite one is the Banca d'Italia Piazza Cavour portico. Keep an eye out for that one. Not too long ago, I did a podcast episode with someone who's a bridge and structure specialist and engineer, and he had been to Bologna working on the two towers of Bologna. And I'll also put a link to that podcast episode because that was fascinating. Back in the 12th and 13th century, there were numerous towers in Bologna, over 150, I believe. And probably the function of the towers was for protection, to be able to see out at a distance. And in addition, the towers were a sign of prestige for families and nobility. Many of the towers were demolished in the 13th century, and less than 20 of all those 150 still remain. The most important and best known are the two medieval towers in Piazza Ravegnana, the Torre degli Asinelli and the Torre Garisenda. The Asinelli Tower was built between 1109 and 1119 by the noble Asinelli family. It's slightly more than 97 meters tall and has a little bit more than a 2-meter overhang. You can climb to the top and enjoy an exquisite view of Bologna, but bear in mind the stairs are a bit rickety and narrow, so you might feel somewhat claustrophobic. There are 490 steps inside, and they were completed in 1684. Whether you climb the stairs or not, it's well worth visiting the towers as they are magnificent, and the entire surrounding area is charming. The second tower, the Torre Garisenda, was built at the same time, but it's only 47 meters high, with a little more than a 3-meter overhang. Actually, when Dante saw this tower, he compared it to the hunched Anteo in his 31st Song of Hell from the Inferno. Charles Dickens also wrote about the two towers in his book American Notes, Pictures from Italy. You'll want to head over to the Piazza Maggiore, and it's located in the very center of Bologna. It's bordered by former administrative buildings like the town hall, now a museum, and the former Notaries Guild, police, and justice offices. The Basilica of San Petronio is also located in Piazza Maggiore, and from a volume perspective, it's the 10th largest church in all of Europe. Back in the 1200s, this piazza was just a grassy area until the municipality purchased the houses and property to build Bologna's administrative activities there. Originally, the piazza went by a different name, and it was only in 1945 that it became officially known as Piazza Maggiore. It's a fantastic open space, really enjoyable, usually full of street musicians and passersby and locals out enjoying an afternoon aperitivo or a morning coffee. I love to just go and sit there. There's one interesting thing. As you head off to the northeast corner of the piazza, you'll get to the Piazza del Nettuno. That's Neptune Square. And here you'll find a famous fountain and statue. The Neptune statue was commissioned by Pier Donato Cesi and sculpted by Giambologna. He, like a number of other sculptors, including Leonardo da Vinci, often used